I'm glad I have a YouTube comment section to remind me every time I get a prediction wrong, seconds after I'm wrong. I mean, seriously, it's like you guys see Ryan Garcia lose. The first thing you guys think of, oh, let me go comment in the comment section about how I was wrong. Badass, I see Ryan Garcia get knocked out. I'm thinking to myself, let me go check my comment section. I guarantee that there's somebody already there telling me how I was wrong. And there was not just one, there was quite a few comments seconds after the fight had just ended. But look, I did some bragging in the past about how I was right about John Jones, so I gotta take it on the chin this time. Yes, I was wrong. Ryan Garcia did lose. Welcome back, guys. We're gonna be talking about the UFC event as well as the big Ryan Garcia bout that just happened. And what a weekend it was for combat sports. And boxing is just booming because next week we are getting Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. Oh wait, Fury didn't want to fight Usyk next week. So yeah, next week we only have Song Yadong versus Ricky Simone in the UFC Apex. But we're gonna enjoy this past weekend. If any of you guys tuned in on the stream, I'm incredibly thankful for you guys because it was quite a fun stream. And if you guys are wondering, hey Jack, why didn't you post a video on Sunday right afterwards? I think if you guys watched the stream, especially the end of the stream, you guys would have probably found out. But without further ado, we're here a day later. We're going to be talking about Ryan Garcia, Sergei Pavlovich, everything and more. So let's get into the video. This video is sponsored by Red. Make sure to check them out in the link in the description and use code JACK10 to get 10% off of the best MMA merchandise, streetwear, and all of that. Go check it out in the link in the description and enjoy the video. Alright, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis. Now, this was a fight like a boxing fan myself. I've been talking about this fight 3 years. I never thought that this fight would be made. It was finally made. And I had predicted Ryan Garcia was going to be able to win. Look, I said he'd be able to push out that jab. Gervonta just struggled with activity in a few of his fights. I thought maybe that Ryan would be a little more active, and as the fight went on, Gervonta would kind of pick up the pace and start to find his shots, but I thought Ryan would win the majority of the rounds, leading to a decision win. Now, I have to say, everything I said that was going to happen in the fight did happen, just at basically 2x speed, because the first round was how I said the fight was going to go. I watched that first round and kind of was like, hey, I think my prediction might be right. Ryan Garcia was popping out that jab. Gervonta Davis was just going backwards, letting Ryan push him backwards. But at the end of the second round, Gervonta found a huge shot, landed a big left hook because he's a southpaw on the chin of Ryan Garcia, knocking him down. And I think this spelled the beginning of the end for this fight, because yes, while the fight ended 5 rounds later and it ended with a body shot, to me this stopped Ryan's activity. It stopped Ryan going in with the jab. And like I've been saying, Ryan's best weapon is that left hook, yes, but why are you going to throw it against Gervonta Davis, a guy that is shorter than you? Stick to your long weapons, that 1-2. There's no need to get into range. By throwing that left hook, you're letting Gervonta counter you. And from there, I think Ryan was just very hesitant to engage and kind of slow down the activity, letting Gervonta kind of land a little bit more shots, and we saw that Gervonta was winning a lot of the rounds. And then I gave the 6th round to Ryan, but that was pretty close. Then the 7th round was the big round. Gervonta Davis lands a huge body shot to the liver of Ryan Garcia, and for a lot of people saying Ryan is a quitter, he could have gotten up, guys, a liver shot is not something to play around about. I guarantee you Ryan Garcia is not a quitter. Like, I can't even believe I have to say this. There's a lot of casuals watching this fight thinking, oh, Ryan just got hurt, he just wanted to take a knee. No, there was a lot on the line in this fight, especially for Ryan. If Ryan won this fight, it was going to be a huge deal. He didn't give up, man. It's just when you get hit in the liver like that, there's nothing you could do. Your body just gives up on you, and that's what happened to Ryan. You saw him try his best to get up, and he lost. And I want to say that I hate seeing everybody kind of make fun of Ryan, especially in this case. I hate when anybody makes fun of any fighter for losing, but you can't complain about big fights not being made in boxing and then go ahead and make fun of people like Ryan Garcia when they try to make those big fights and come up short. You can't do that, because then nobody is going to want to fight each other. This is why nobody wants to fight in boxing. They don't want to take the risk. They don't want to lose and become a meme and lose their money and credibility. So I would refrain, much respect for Ryan for taking the fight, because all the odds were really stacked against him going into this one. Like I said, Davis had the better resume, the more experience. Ryan's last opponent was nowhere near the level of Tank. And as for Tank, I mean, you got to give a lot of credit for this guy, because this guy made it look easy. I mean, the first round he started off a little slow, but then he got it going quickly, landed nice body shots throughout the 7 rounds, landed good straights to the body, and was just really working the body of the taller opponent like he should have done. And I think there's only one fight that makes sense: Devin Haney. We need to see Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, assuming Devin Haney wins his next fight. We're gonna have to see. Honestly, I think I kind of favor Devin Haney in that matchup. I think Devin Haney is probably the best out of all of them, but this performance is one of those performances that make me say, hey, maybe Gervonta can beat Devin Haney. And as far as Ryan goes, I've seen people suggest that he should fight Rolly Romero. He fought Gervonta Davis, and I agree, that's a fun fight to make. I hope Ryan Garcia doesn't get too discredited from this loss. I hope he can come back quickly, maybe in the fall, fall and just get back active and try to get that rematch. I'm assuming that's probably going to be his goal, but I gotta say, what an amazing event. Fights like this don't get made in boxing very often, so we really have to appreciate it, and I think this fight is going to do well. I mean, a lot of people I knew were talking about the fight. If you watch the live stream, I had a few of my friends come on. Like I said last video, literally my own mom, my own father are texting me about this fight, and they know nothing about combat sports. It just goes to show the star power of these two, and especially Gervonta Davis. He's gonna go big after this. But let me know what you guys thought of the fight. Do you guys think Ryan was a quitter? You know, I don't think he was, but let me know in the comment section below, and also let me know if you watched the live stream, and let's get into this UFC event. Alright, Sergei Pavlovich, Curtis Blaydes. Now, this was a fight that I was excited for. I think it was slept on. Like I said, everyone was talking about Garcia Tank. This was a really good main event for a fight night, and I had predicted Sergei Pavlovich, and I was right. Notice how there were no comments congratulating me on being right, but nonetheless, Sergei Pavlovich knocked out Curtis Blaydes in the first round, and a lot of people are saying Curtis showed bad fight IQ, which I can kind of agree with, but at the same time, I would say no. I think Curtis Blaydes started the fight as he should, moving around, popping out that jab, not staying still, and he was having success. You saw him early land a right hand, but then he stopped moving his feet. He started planting down on those shots, throwing them, and trading with Sergei Pavlovich, which you can't do with a guy like Sergei. Like I said, guys, he has one decision win, and the rest of his fights have ended in the first round, even his loss, so the power is crazy from this guy. His past 3 fights have only been 1 round of fight time, and when you look at his opponents, I mean, Derek Lewis, Taito Ivasa, and now Curtis Blaydes, this is the top of the heavyweight division. This guy's resume is right now underrated, and I think it's time for a title shot for Sergei Pavlovich, but I'm gonna talk about that later. But first, like I said, I want to get into Curtis Blaydes. Could Curtis Blaydes have shot a little bit early? Yes, I think he could have. Definitely have set it up a little bit better with the strikes. However, people act as if that he should have, in the first 5 seconds, gone in for a takedown and easily double-leg Sergei Pavlovich and just rain elbows on him as if it's that easy. First of all, what a lot of you guys don't know is he does have a wrestling background. He has a sambo background. I showed in my past video that there's videos of him wrestling in his older MMA fight. He has wrestling ability. This isn't like an Ngannou. This guy has power and also has a ground game as well. Now, we'll see how good that ground game is in the future. I was hoping we'd get some answers this fight, but as I said in my other video, you know, you see guys shooting on Sergei Pavlovich, and usually he clinches with them and just throws as hard as he can and hurts his opponents that way. If you're gonna try to take this guy down, it has to be very smart, because you're getting into close range with a power puncher. Curtis, I believe, shot 1 takedown. Could have been a little bit early before he was hurt, in my opinion, but I wouldn't say this is necessarily bad fight IQ. It's just Sergei Pavlovich is a terrible matchup for a guy like Curtis Blaydes, in my opinion, and he arguably is for Jon Jones. So let's get into this now. Should he fight Jon Jones next? I alluded to this in the live stream, but I said, hey, I really wouldn't be surprised if the UFC is going to put pressure on Jon Jones to fight International Fight Week and say, hey, we're gonna make an interim title with Stipe and Sergei. So Jon Jones is like, hey, there's a chance Stipe could lose this and I might not be able to fight Stipe. Not saying that he doesn't want to fight Sergei, but he clearly does really want that Stipe fight because he is the greatest heavyweight of all time. So I could definitely see a scenario where they try to push it like that, but honestly, I'm not so sure. July is only a couple months away, so it does seem a little bit short. I think we're most likely gonna see Jones in November at MSG, hopefully, so your boy can come see Jon Jones. But who is it going to be against? I don't mind the idea of having a Stipe versus Sergei Pavlovich fight. Don't think it'll happen. I think most likely we are going to see Stipe versus Jon Jones. But the question is this: what happens with Sergei Pavlovich? Is he just going to sit out till the winner of the Jones-Miocic fight comes back? Which, if it's Jones, we might see him retire. He did allude to this on Twitter, and maybe we see a vacant title fight. I don't think so. Look, the rumor right now is that the UFC is going to Paris September 2nd. I say let's have Cyril Gane versus Sergei Pavlovich. This is a fun matchup. They're both strikers. Sergei does have a wrestling background, so maybe you could actually use that in this fight, but I really hope that Pavlovich doesn't just sit out. First of all, I think it's a mistake because he doesn't have that big of a name to just be able to sit out. Sergei needs to rack up more wins. Even though I think his resume is extremely impressive, he does need to rack up more wins, just so the more casual fans know about him. But a matchup with him and Jones would be interesting because Sergei's power would neglect all skill. But that's not to say that Pavlovich doesn't have skill, because he has really good boxing as well as a really good ground game, and he's a heavyweight. Jon Jones has so far only fought Cyril Gane, who isn't that big of a power puncher. We've seen Jon Jones' defense be questionable at times. That leads to an interesting matchup. And for the people saying, oh, Jon is ducking Sergei Pavlovich, guys, no matter what, Jon Jones, when he retires, everybody's going to have a heavyweight contender, a new mythical heavyweight contender that could possibly beat Jon Jones. It always happens with every champion. Look at Khabib, right? Khabib retired, now it's like, oh, he couldn't beat Oliveira. People even say, oh, how Chandler has the power in the wrestling, maybe he could be Khabib. There's always going to be a matchup that everyone's gonna be like, oh, that would be interesting. So I would just try to lay off that talk, but I still think that would be a fun fight to see. I hope Jon Jones doesn't retire after his next fight. I'd like to see him try to break that heavyweight title defense record. I feel like that's the only thing that could entice him to stay after the Stipe fight, but we're gonna have to see what happens. I could also see an interim title fight between Sergei and another heavyweight heavyweight contender, whether it be Tom Aspinall or something like that. We will see, but right now the division just kind of backed up, but both main events very much delivered. Let me know what you guys thought was the best main event. Which one did you enjoy the most? Let me know what you guys thought of these two fights. Who's the Sergei Pavlovich fight next? Thank you guys for watching. You guys are always the best. You guys are always very supportive, and thank you guys so much if you tune in for the live stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one.